Hello, and welcome to the most popular game in the world, probably. Elden Ring, but on computer, on the PC. I wanted to play this with the keyboard and mouse, and it is entirely playable. But it's just easier with the controller. Much easier with the controller. So today I'm going to try to attempt to do something special, which is beat the game in under 8 hours. And that's in-game time, because I'm not gonna have an 8-hour long video, at least not right now. So I'm gonna pull off lots of tricks with this. I wonder what my name should be. What should my name be? Tell me what my name should be. Tell me now. Tell me before the video comes to light, before it is made, before the video is made. I'll just call it that. Just the 8-hour man. One thing that's a little silly about this game is that it doesn't say male or female, it just says A or B, and A is like its buff body, and B is slender body. But when you look at them, it's male or female. And that's it, it's male or female. That's all they had to say. But anyway. We will need 38 strength, because we're going for the Radahn's weapon. That's one of the better strength weapons in the game. So where's strength? So what's the highest strength? It looks like it's 16 from the hero, but we'll also need a little bit of intelligence. So maybe the prisoner instead. And then the best keepsake is the golden seed, because basically it's a starting weapon, or rather starting item. And with this you get like one more Estus flask at the beginning of the game. So that's nice. And then you can... Where is he from, this 8-hour person? This 8-hour man? He's a night folk, because he's the type of guy who stays up late at night trying to perfect his Elden Ring runs. It's perfect. It's the perfect backstory. He stays up late at night trying to perfect his Elden Ring runs, and that's why he's a night folk. Anyway, intro. That's the intro. We're not concerning ourselves with silly things like items, most items at least. Or, well, I guess we have to get this one. It's triangle. I have to do triangle. Just trying to remember what I use, what buttons I use. Because it's been a while since I've been really into this game. But anyway, we're gonna ignore most things in the game and try to just beat it in 8 hours and see if it's possible. It's probably very possible, but I haven't done it yet. I think I can do it, but I haven't. I wonder if anyone ever beats this guy. I mean, I might, but I wonder if anyone else does. Because I never beat this guy. It's probably faster to just let him beat you, you know? Loading, we're loading. And then there's your flasks. And look, there's an item that I have no idea how to get. Do you know how to get to the mysterious item? And I don't mean that item. I know how to get that item. It's like a gesture. But what's that item over there? Has anyone ever gotten that item before in the history of Elden Ring? I have no clue. I've never seen anyone get that item. But now we're gonna set up our flasks, because we want the flasks to be a certain way. We want them to be upgraded, and we want them to all be in the health category, because who cares about magic? Magic is stupid and stinks. Equipment, no magic, only shield. And that's even if we use shield. I might not use shield at all, because shields are a lot more useless in this game than in Dark Souls. You get your multiplayer items. You get your elevators. I'm on low settings, by the way. Low graphics settings. Just so that it loads stuff faster. What kind of sword is this? It's a thrusting sword, S-stock. How about that? How estocular. Anyway, we're gonna get important bonfires like this one. And I don't care what it's called, it's a bonfire. Look, it has the bonfire stuff underneath it. It's a bonfire. It has like the bonfire ashes or whatever. Whatever it's called. Get your multiplayer items, even if you don't use them. And then just skip this guy, because he's just an optional boss. And he has little value. Unless you just want to use boss items, because he does give you boss items, I believe. We're gonna have to go to all of these churches, because almost every church in the game has something very useful for you to find. Like this guy. This guy gives you a crafting kit, so you can craft stuff. Which means that he's literally one of the most important NPCs in the entire game. Because if you miss him, then you just can't craft anything. And crafting is a pretty big part of the game. You see those leaves flashing? That's because I'm on low graphics. Anyway, we're also gonna skip a lot of these regular fights, because we don't need to fight stuff, we just need to beat the game. And we can get tons and tons of souls without fighting things. Without fighting most things, at least. We will have to fight some things. Or rather, I'll have to do it. Because I'm the player, I'm the game player. And then this, your first town, your first ruins town, also has one of the most important items in the game just hiding over here. It's an item that lets you swap the art of your weapon art. So you can like put kick on any weapon you want to. Or put something else like frost stomp. Or storm stomp. Or fire stomp, if that were a thing. So very important thingy to get. Then here's a map. And then over here is one of the best weapons of the entire game. One that I have used in countless playthroughs. The Lord Sworn's Great Sword. It's basically your basic great sword, which is just great for strength builds. And you can put pretty much anything you want to on it. Let me sit down. Give me your item also. And then once we sit down at this bonfire in particular, it will always give you this cutscene where you find the lady. And then the lady will give you the horse. I believe her name is Melina. Because everyone's an everyone's a G or an R or an M name. Everyone important is. And then horse ring. We get the horse ring. We get the Elden horse ring. Which if you pre-ordered the game, then you get the Elden horse ring anyway. And I'm gonna put it... What button is that? It's triangle. I'm gonna put it right there. So that like it can be like there. Ta-da! And we won't need that yet. Because what we need right now is the spirit calling bell. And if you go back to the church bonfire right here, then you get the spirit calling bell for free. And if you don't get it here, then you can get it from the round table hold for like 300 souls. Or something like that. Spirit calling bell and the lone wolf ashes. And then she will appear in a quest line much later on, which you can choose to do or not. So I will use the dogs here for now, because they're actually pretty good. At least during the starting part of the game, they're pretty good, the dogs are. If you want to do a lot of bosses. If you want to do all the bosses, or just play the game regularly. Lump of flesh. How gross of you. What gross item descriptions and item names? I think my audio is pretty low right now, but it's showing it as pretty high on the recording software, so it should balance out, probably. And if not, then I'll fix it for the next video. I have it set like to 2 audio, and for me that's pretty loud. So wolves appear, and then we sit down, and then they disappear. And then they kill me. Because they didn't disappear. Because I didn't sit down. Get random beast bones. So over here, you see a... I think this is a, stone sword key that can help you get into certain places, but here's a lady who will give you another summon if you just talk to her long enough. And this summon is also one of the better ones, because it can poison enemies from a distance. And by enemies, I mean it can poison, like, bosses too, so it's pretty useful. Summons jellyfish. Very important jellyfish. Anyway, up there is like a main boss, but we're not doing that yet. We're not going up there. Not yet. Instead, we're going all the way over here. Across the distant lands. Across the fire arrows. Get every grace that you see just in case you want to use it later. Because you might change your mind on where your playthrough's going, and you might want to use more bonfires. I know that I just swapped between calling it a grace and a bonfire, but it's interchangeable. It could be either one, and you would know what I'm talking about, because it's a Souls game. It's a Dark Souls game. Except it's like a lot thinner than Dark Souls is, but it's a Souls game. Up there's a guy yelling, a pot guy. A guy who is pot. Who does not do pot, but is pot. Here is bridge. It is a bridge that is a bridge. And it has that guy. You can choose to defeat him, or choose to not defeat him. It does not matter either way. It gives you more souls if you do defeat him, though. There's a guy with a shop over there with that bonfire, that actual bonfire that is made of fire. And there's a story NPC right there. An NPC with a story that he can give you, or rather that you can live through him. Then we have this thingy. And with this thingy, I'm gonna go... Not that. Say no. I'm gonna go down here. Because there's important things to get. My next video was supposed to be Minecraft, but I chose to do this instead. Because this was itching at me. Over here you have a graveyard. Whenever you see the graveyards, make sure to get all the souls in them. And don't miss the souls like I do. And I know they're called runes, but no, they're souls. They're souls. They try to make better words for what these are, but Dark Souls already had it figured out as to what the words should be. They're souls because you pick them up off of enemies. And enemies have the souls because they killed something. They killed other things to get their souls. So calling it souls just makes more sense. Kill these things because they give you weapon arts, and even if you don't use the weapon arts, it might be good to have it anyway. Sacred Blade, so if you're like a faith build, then that's a good weapon art for you, but I am not a faith build. I am not a faith build at all. I am a strength build. Strength builder. Like Bob the Builder, but for strength. No, not that. Okay. Not that. Do that. Ta-da. I should really take that off, because it's not doing me any favors. So, here you have the Flask of Wondrous Physic. It's basically a thing that does all sorts of different effects. And then Sacred Tear. That gets the Estus Flask up to +1. And before you fight your first boss, you can get your flask up to like +10. Because the game only really locks you off from getting 2 of the Sacred Tears before you can fight any bosses. So that's neat. That's a neat thing, I suppose. Then you have all these bat creatures flying around. Being bats. Being batty. I should put the horse ring up here, because that's where I'm wanting to reach. That's where my hands are reaching whenever I go for that. Whenever I try to go for that. So we're just running through this forest and trying to get through it. Trying to get to the other side, like the snake. Or rather the chicken, not the snake. There's a rickety shield out here? I had no idea. This game is so huge that you'll find random items all around. There's the road. Need to go on the road. Because if you're on the road, then you will know where you are going. Because the road goes where the things are. Road goes where the things are, yes. Yes, indeed. And then over here we have another Grace bonfire Grace. So here we actually do want to scale this fortress and defeat the mini-boss on the top of it. Because he has an important item for us, for me. Wait a minute. I grabbed a sword and I never checked if I could use it. 16 strength. I have 11. I might be able to use it if I two-hand it, so let's see. Yes, I can. So if you don't know, the two-handing strength weapons has less strength requirements for you than single-handing it. I don't know how that works, but I guess two-handing makes you more stable and thus requiring less strength or something like that. Some weird logic like that. Just ignore all the enemies except for the one on top. All of these enemies are useless. Except these guys, they might actually get in your way when you're fighting the guy up here, because they throw stuff at you. Like that. And like that. And like that. So defeat this guy and don't be too slow about it. Use lots of backstabs if you can. Come on. A rat's gonna kill me? Just about. So Bloody Slash, that's what we're looking for. And now we can apply Bloody Slash to this weapon and make it a blood weapon. And that's pretty much what I wanted, is to get a blood weapon out of this. Because I really like this weapon, and having a weapon with bleed makes it so that your enemies bleed every few hits or so. Every so many hits they will bleed. And if they bleed, then they will die. They will die a lot faster if they bleed. And soon we will want to kill an enemy with bleed, a huge enemy with huge bleed. So all the way back up here. There's another bleed weapon, like on a different road, and we will be getting that, but if you don't find that bleed weapon, then you can at least find bleed over there, and apply bleed to any regular weapon, like the Lordsworn's Greatsword. Here's a boss that we're not defeating. Because that boss gives you, like, nothing useful. At least as far as I know. There are a couple of useless bosses that do give you something useful, though. At the front of that church, there is a summon, or rather, an invasion. There is an invasion up there, but we're gonna skip it. If you jump up these rocks to the side, then you can get around the invasion summoning perimeter. The invasion activation perimeter, pretty much. And then you can just ride right into the church without the invasion happening. I've done this countless times. Too many times to take note of. And then you can get some random stuff from these guys. And while we're at it, we might as well upgrade our flask. Oh yeah, she's here to take us to the round table hold, but we don't care about any of that.
To determine if you had them. It seems torrent, whereas there is, but I can take gathering place.
So just stand up to make her go away. And maybe one day we'll go to the round table hold, but not today. For we don't have anything to get there. One day we will get bell bearings, and with those bell bearings we will be able to get stones, and with those stones we will be able to get upgrades for our weapons. But until we can do that, then there's no real reason to go to the round table hold. Other than just seeing a few neat NPCs. And look, we have gone straight into Bloodborne. We have gone from nice peaceful place to Bloodborne. Or rather, a place that is trying to imitate Bloodborne to a cheap degree. Like, it has creepy enemies and the such, but other than that, it's not really like Bloodborne. In that carriage, you can find, like, the actual Guts greatsword, because they have to put Guts in these games some way or another. So if you want to be Guts, then go into that carriage back there and find the greatsword. That one that I'm looking at. With the camera, but not with my person. My in-game person. My 8-hour man person. And then we basically go from... We don't care about Caelid right now, because Caelid is stinky and stupid. Instead, we care about the Dragon's Eyrie, which is up here. Or rather, Dragon Barrow, actually. Dragon Barrow. My apologies. I must use the correct wording. Dragon Barrow. I think Dragon Eyrie was like Dark Souls 3 or something like that. But anyway, keep getting your bonfires. Get all of your bonfires. Up there are a few items, but we'll get those later. Here's another map for you. So get your maps. Get them all. Get all your maps. So you know where you're going. And you know where things are on the map. There's tons of dragons, but we don't care about the dragons, at least not yet. Back at the fort, I got 1/2 of a Dectus, I think it is, medallion. And up here, there is another fort with the other half of the Dectus medallion. Just ignore the huge, massive dragon. And all of his children, or her, perhaps. There's a dragon, and there's the big, huge dragon. For you to see the difference between them, and yet that is not the biggest dragon in the game. That thing right there, that is a mountain of a dragon. That is not the biggest dragon in the game. The biggest dragon in the game is a dead dragon in like a huge city. But anyway, we're gonna go even further until we find a grave site, and we'll get all of the souls in the grave site, and then we will find another bonfire a little after that, which is a good grinding spot. Because there's an enemy in this area that consistently gives you like 1,000 to 2,000 souls, I think. It's been a while, but he gives you at least 1,000 souls every time you go through here. Every time you kill him, or rather make him fall off a cliff, that's it, yeah. Just grabbing random items, because why not? You never know if you need them. So here's the gravesite with all the souls in it, so grab all your souls. Don't miss any souls. This area is meant to be tackled a little later on, so there's a little bit better of souls here. And then there's another wind geyser. Jumping on the wind geysers makes it so that you don't have any fall damage when you get to the bottom of them, which is very good to know. Because you might not know that, but now you knew. Now you knew that. There's like a Knight Rider guy over there. He only comes out at night. Like the Man-Eater, he only comes out at night. But now we're going all the way back here, so we can go down this road over here and get the actual bleed weapon. And also beyond that, we will get different churches that have other... I'm not sure what it's called, but I think it's a... It's the thing that you get at churches to upgrade your flask. Okay, that's what it's called. It's the thing that you get to upgrade your flask. That's what it's called. That's the name of it. That's the technical name of it. That's the name of it in my heart and in my soul, because that's all my soul and heart care to call it. But anyway, I think that this is going to replace Minecraft for a little bit while I finish up this game, because Minecraft can get a little old sometimes. Playing enough of any one game can get a little old. There's another, well, not a shop guy, but I guess enemies like ran through here and killed this guy, and now he's just a sliver of meat that I take with me. Imagine I eat the meat that was right there, and then it's like I'm eating that shopkeeper who was over there. Possible shopkeeper, that is. We don't know if it was an actual shopkeeper. Perhaps he was an imitator, and that's why the enemies killed him, because he didn't have the things that they wanted. I'm creating a story in my brain mind that is not true at all. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that damage. And that's unupgraded. It's pretty good. But it will get pretty better later on. Being used to Dark Souls, this game's upgrade system was insane when I first played it. Like, I got the weapon up to plus 12, and then I was like, surely that's all there is, yes? And then it went up to plus 15, and I was like, just how high does this thing go? And then it goes all the way up to plus 25. And I'm like, surely that's enough, yes? That's enough levels for a weapon to go through. And then the special weapons only go up to plus 10. Only plus 10 for special weapons. Anyway, here's these guys. These fools who are doing random things. And over here, just lying in an open chest, is the Morning Star, which has bleed on it. It's a bleed weapon. So it's good for if you want things to bleed. Which we do. We want everything to bleed. There's a bow, Ash of War. A bow weapon art, you could say. There's another shopkeep. There's a Grace bonfire. Gracefully bonfire-y. Grace. And then there's another Knight Rider guy who runs through this little area. But we don't care about that guy. We care about the map. And we care about that giant who's about to shoot us. He may look small, but that's because he's far away. Look at that. Look at that thing. They have terrible aim, by the way. They usually never hit you. Usually. Sometimes you play dumbly, however, and then they do hit you. And that is how it goes, isn't it? I know, I can read your brain. I can read your mind because it's my mind. It's not your mind, it's mine. Ow. Ow. You see, the shockwave hit me. The arrow didn't hit me. The shockwave did. One thing about playing this game with keyboard and mouse is that you have to, in order to do the heavy attack, you have to hold down, like, control, and then do the attack button in order to do heavy attack. So it's very not normal. Which means that if you try to do the attack where an enemy attacks your shield and then you do the counter attack, then it means that you could do the shield's weapon art instead, because it replaces your L1 and R1 with an L2 and an R2, pretty much. And they're both on the mouse. So if you're holding your shield up, then it'll try to use the shield weapon art, because it swaps it to the L2. So it's very odd playing with keyboard and mouse. And it's like way slower because you're just trying to figure out the controls half the time. But anyway. There's like a burnt butterfly. Yellow ember, not burnt butterfly. That's what's floating around the fires. Those burnt butterflies. Here's a little Madness town. Madness is like a status effect that they didn't use that well in the game. Like, it's barely anywhere Madness is. I feel like it's barely anywhere, at least. There's like 2 areas that use it in the whole game, for the most part. And yeah, 2, for the most part at least. And then the DLC was like, what if we make a whole Madness boss fight? And it's like one of the worst boss fights. Because the DLC is terrible. But anyway. Another... We're just getting this bonfire, it doesn't matter. But another status effect that is very underused is the sleep status effect. Because there are certain attacks in the game that make your character fall asleep. There's like one or two enemies in the whole game that make you go to sleep. And I'm just like, well, you built this whole mechanic and these animations around falling asleep, why didn't you use it more? I mean, you have a huge game, a huge open world game, and you have these mechanics that you make, and you just barely use them. It's like you could make a whole sleep area. You could make whole mechanics around the sleep mechanic, but no. I feel like they make their games very oddly, these From Software people. Oh look, we have like 1900 souls. How did that happen? I guess a lot of enemies are just dying around me. And also that one huge enemy probably gave me like 1,000. I think there are 3 churches on this Weeping Peninsula alone. Meaning you can get like 3 of the Estus Flask charges that upgrade your Estus Flask. So you can get it up to +3 from this one area. And then there's that one church on the mainland, that big church where we got the wondrous physic from. So that's another one. And then there's like 1 or 2 more in the Caelid area. So that's already like 5 or 6 you can get before even fighting one boss. Look at those undead people. I feel like the enemy pool in this game is very weak. Like, there aren't that many unique kinds of enemies. Meanwhile, you go to a game like Dark Souls and it's oozing with unique enemies all over. We are going to buy something soon. From a shop, even. I know, buying something from a shop, unheard of. Completely unheard of. But it's like a little lamp to put on your side, so that areas are less dark. Dark areas are less dark. You could take a torch with you, but why take a torch with you when you could just put a torch on your side and have it be active forever? And also not take up any hand slots. By the way, that magic in the lower left corner, that's never being used. You're not going to see that magic ever used again. Good luck with that magic. So upgrading the flask, it's so enjoyable because it's a thing that you do just over and over again. Very repetitive. You can get the flask up to like plus 12, and then you can get about 12 flasks in total, I think. Wait, no, it's like 14, but you don't really need that many. It's nice to have, but you don't need that many flasks. So souls, we need souls. We need more souls. I'll just use all of these, because why not? Even if I don't need them. So this guy is a shop, and he sells you the... whatever it's called. The little light at your side. The lantern. He sells you the lantern, which is very useful. And also the Zweihander, apparently. This game has been updated a lot. I'm pretty sure that he did not sell that in the original version of the game. But anyway, I'm putting that right here, so that I can always have the lamp on me, the lantern lamp. And see, it makes things brighter. So, now I'm going to get one of my 4 rings. They call them, like, talismans, but they're pretty much rings from any other Dark Souls game. You put it in a ring slot, and it's there forever, and gives you a passive buff. It's a ring, I tell you, it's a ring. And this ring is, like, one of the more important ones. It's a regenerating HP ring. Regenerates your HP, and you can just get this without fighting any enemies pretty much. Just go to this tower and go all the way up it, and then open the chest, because it's a trap chest. Haha! I have trapped you, viewer, if you were following along to a T. I have trapped you forever. Except it, like, plops you right in front of a Grace, and whenever you sit at a Grace, it refreshes your trapped status, so you're not trapped anymore. This was crazy to see early on in my first playthrough, just a city at the end of the game, pretty much. It's towards the end of the game, it's like 90% through, 70% through even. So we want big strength, we want 38 strength in total, or at least 38 strength. We can do other things in the meantime. So we want to kill this guy, because I think he is preventing me from opening a chest which contains the thing that I want. Make sure to roll when you can. Oh. Don't fling me off the ledge. I think my flask should, like, heal me back to full pretty much where it is. I wonder where this bridge goes, or where it was supposed to go. I guess towards the Rea Lucaria, or rather the Reo Lucario. The big witch academy, pretty much. The magic place. Because that's where it seems to be aiming. The bridges. Not the X button, the triangle button. Ow. So yeah, I get hurt a lot, but I can hurt him a lot. Or not. This is the fun part where we die over and over again. And then eventually get like 1,000 souls from him. Which is enough for 1 level up. Yay. Huzzah. If you jump attack, then it gets rid of his stamina faster. See? Yes. You see, that's funny because C in Spanish means yes. You have to wait for him to be corporeal so you can actually hit him. Slam your thing on the ground. Be mad. Be big, huge mad. Huge mad person. What? Some of these damage numbers just do not make any sense. Like, how did that kill me? How did it do that? How did it do that? Do I have any armor? I don't think I do. I might just be able to open the chest. Which I might just try to do. Where's my souls? There they are. My souls. It's kind of interesting how the souls are... How the souls look like they're like branches of a tree that's just sprouting up. You know, because this game is all about trees, pretty much. But yeah, I got the charm. That is the regeneration charm. It restores your HP slowly, which may not seem useful, but it is. It is useful. Just use it. Just use the useful thing. But anyway, that's like way over there. And we want more of those churches. Those churches. There should be one around here. But also, there's the dragon we can kill. But first we're going to go for the other half of the Dectus medallion. And then we're going to go for the other church that's in this area. Because then we can get our thing to +5. Our Estus flask. I don't like the name for the Estus flask in this game. The Flask of Crimson Tears. Like, what on earth does that mean? Crimson Tears. And then the magic one is the Flask of Cerulean Tears. And it's like, oh, you did a blue and a red thing there. I see what you did. You did a blue and a red thing. So wait for the enemies to not be on you anymore. And then warp around. Because we got what we came here for. And with the Dectus medallion, you can go up to the city that we just saw earlier. That had the big, giant, huge thing on it that I failed to kill. Because I'm a weak man. I'm a weak little 8-hour man. So over here somewhere, there should be a spot to jump down. There, over there, a wind spot. And then down in that lower area, there should be a church right over there. You can see it. You can see it from here. So with this, we'll actually jump back up onto this big skull thing, because there's items to get. A smithing stone 7, a couple of 7s, stone sword key, and smithing stone 8. We're just getting that to get that pretty much. We won't need it for a while. Those are some pretty late game upgrade materials. It gets your weapons up to like +20, +19 and +22. So it's like really late game. So church, going to church. We're going to church today, boys. Gals, boys, whatever you are. Whoever you are, wherever you are, whenever you are, whyever you are. Look at those hay bales. And also that lady crying in the corner. Are those hay bales? Yes, they are. They're hay bales, I tell you. Sacred tear. We upgrade our thing, we warp out. We don't care about the lady. We don't care about her yet, though. Yet for now. For now yet. We might not care about her ever, actually. Because... it just might not be a useful quest. But anyway, it's time to get tons and tons of souls. Endless souls. Well, they actually do have an end to them. But you could make this weapon a blood weapon, or you could take this blood weapon. So what's its bleed? It's 50 bleed. So let's compare. Let's see how much bleed we can get on our weapon, on my weapon, on the weapon that I have. So choose your blood art, and then choose blood instead of standard. We can get 69 bleed. It's the funny number. And it might look different once it's in 2 hands. Does it? Does it? I guess I have to look at equipment. It does not look any different. But now the strategy is pretty much to hit this thing. You see, I can actually damage it a little bit, and if it can be damaged, then it can bleed. And if it can bleed, then it can die. Because bleed does percentage-based damage. So as you can see, I just did like over 10,000 damage to it. That's because bleed does percentage-based damage, not like hit-based damage or anything. So it's like a certain percentage of its health bar gets taken away whenever it activates bleed. So that's the science behind it. Very basic science. And this spot that we're in is like far enough away from the other dragons to where they will just not ever reach us because they don't even know that we're here. And the funny thing is that once we kill this big one, all of the other ones will die pretty much, or at least a lot of them will die. So much so that we will get like 6 dragon hearts from killing this one big one. And also you get like tons of souls, because these dragons are meant to be kinda tough for you to fight. In fact, I've never fought these dragons legitimately. I've actually only ever beaten this big dragon guy this way. I think so, at least, yeah. There is a mechanic where you could beat some of the smaller dragons, and then they each take, I think, a chunk off of this guy's health bar. I think that's how it works, I'm not sure. So it's supposed to be this big area with these neat mechanics in there, but then you can just destroy the area like this before you can even engage with it properly. So I mean, making games open world is neat and all, but you can break them like this. You can break open world games so easily like this. And who knows, maybe they never thought that players would do this, but maybe you should think that players would do this. Because players will find any way they can to cheat your game. Especially when you purposefully make your game harder than other games, just for the sake of it. And I mean, Dark Souls was not made to be hard just for the sake of it, just to make it harder than other games. Dark Souls was tough because they wanted it to be tough. But this game is like, well, we have to keep continuing on that Dark Souls tradition of making it tough. Because I guess at this point it's like this machine that just won't stop, the Dark Souls machine. They're just milking it for all it's worth. And people are eating it up. Because it's, I guess, more fun than the other slop that's out there. And I guess, yeah, that's a valid reason, but I mean, we could be making better slop. You know, we could be making actual games like Metroid Prime. We could have had 7 Metroid Primes by now. If they just never stopped making them. Or rather, we could have games that are like Metroid Prime. We could have big quality games instead of slop games, where you're given a billion tasks and you have to beat the game. You get like infinite time to beat the game. You get 1,000 hours, 1,000-hour-long games with tasks that are less satisfying than an 8-hour-long game. But anyway, philosophy aside, how did I get onto all this philosophy stuff? Whenever he yells at you, this dragon, he like lowers your damage and your armor. But anyway, that doesn't matter anymore, because I beat him, I killed him. There are ways that you can boost your soul gain from this guy, but you don't need to do it. He gives you a good amount of souls either way. And that's what I'm really trying to demonstrate here, is that you can get a huge amount of souls from this guy. So I now have 75,000 souls. So I think that's a pretty good amount. That can get us up to 34. So I'm going to actually allocate some of those points into health, because we do need health. Health is very important. I will allocate 9 levels into health, and then the rest into strength. Look at our health bar. So now, there's a cave around where we came in. And in that cave there is a very important thing, to me at least. It's a thing that allows for the gain of extra souls. It's like a 20% boost to your soul count. Not your soul count, but the souls that you gain from enemies. And it's like super good, super important, and you might not know where it is, or how to get it even. Because it's like in a hidden cave where you have to make a weird jump to get to it. But if you're here from Dark Souls, it's pretty much the Silver Serpent Ring. It gives you a 20% boost to the amount of souls you gain from enemies. I wonder, how many souls do I need to level up? It's 6,600 souls to level up once. So like over here, I think. No, it's down here. Over here, you jump off of this branch. And you go into this cave. And you see, this is why the light is important. And then here's a little save for you. Don't miss the save. So I'm gonna get that extra level because I have enough things, have enough souls to give me the extra level. So I'll just do that one. That soul. They had to update the game at some point to literally so that they could tell you how many souls you gain from each soul that you consume. Each rune thing that you consume. So anyway, make your way through this cave very carefully so that you don't get too much bleed damage. Because you will get bleed damage, but you can like negate it to some degree. And then here you can like summon people so they can help you. It's Scarlet Rot damage. Excuse me, it's Scarlet Rot. It's what the Scarlet Rot. Don't go into the bleed water, the scarlet water, the rot water. Just follow the cave and try to beat the things that are at the end of the cave. Try to rush through here. Don't get nicked by any enemies. There's also like poison in here, enemies that try to poison you, on top of making the toxic stuff. Scarlet Rot is pretty much toxic from Dark Souls, and then poison is pretty much poison from Dark Souls. In case you needed a tutorial on what poison is. So wait here a little bit for it to go down, and then heal it all up in one swoop. And then go through and summon the jellyfish. You can summon the jellyfish or the wolves. Aw, oh, come on. He wasn't facing me. I wanted you to face me. So just beat these two guys and then your reward is yours. And yes, they do have two separate health bars. So you can backstab them, which is very nice. You can also do the jump attacks and stagger them. Just make sure you heal every now and then. I bled him a bit there. I think my summon has died, but that's fine. Because this guy is about to die. And then it's that guy's turn. Just don't rush. And don't take the hits too hard. Don't take the hits to your psyche. Take the hits to your soul's character instead. And if this is too tough for you, then you can always come back here later. Like I think I'm probably gonna come back here later. And I'm just gonna get other items instead that are easier to get to. But once my health is big enough, then I'll go back through here. Just gotta put a few more levels into health, and then that cave is all mine. Or even just into weapon damage. So right up here there's a very important item that I really like to get every single time. I can hear you, but I'm not going to find you, and I'm not going to help you either. Because I don't like you that much, sir. He's pretty much the equivalent to Solaire from Dark Souls. He's a big pot man. He doesn't do pot, but he's the pot man. And then there's the death-touched catacombs. If I remember this correctly, there is a stabby guy at the end of this dungeon, and he gives you a stabby guy reward. If you stab things, then you get extra bonuses from stabbing it, aka health. You get health from backstabbing things, or from front stabbing things. But it has to be a stab, like one of the critical hits. One of the hard hits. There's Gravewort. With Gravewort you can upgrade your ghost things. And then with this you can open up the boss. Don't worry about these skeletons. I mean, you can worry about them, but I'm not worrying about them. They're not that fast, and they crumple kind of easily. The real issue with the skeletons is they resurrect themselves, but if you just hit them while they're on the ground, then they don't resurrect as easily. Or rather, they stop resurrecting, and you actually get the souls from defeating them. But anyway, this guy is easy, and he gives you like one of the best things in the game. Which is that thing I was talking about, the thing that heals you for backstabs or front stabs, like this stab. Imagine that, but I get health back from it. There are harder variations of that guy throughout the game, but yeah, that's it, that's all I had to say there. So yeah. Critical hits restore HP. Incredibly good. Especially if you get a lot of critical hits off. And then there's this weird stuff right here. I don't know what that is. It's like tree roots or something. Get 1,000 souls from that guy. 1,000 souls. So we're about to have pretty much everything we can get from these areas as far as important upgrade stuff is concerned. We could get that map at least. I'll get that map. It's good to have all the maps so you can actually see where you're going. I will have to get the bell bearings at some point. The bell bearings that let you upgrade your weapons easier. Gold-tinged excrement. Isn't that an interesting item? It is poo, but gold. It's gold poo. So I think that there's one of the things with upgrade materials in it. It might not. No, it's not there. It's in that chest, I think. It's either in that chest or in the chest that Patches gives you, because Patches is in this game. I think the Patches chest, trap chest, sends you into this forest, which means that this chest is the one that sends you into the place where you get one of the important bell bearings. And then that bell bearing is locked behind a huge boss, I think. A big boss, you could say. A Metal Gear Solid 5 big boss. Just run past all the bats. Don't worry about any of the enemies. Just worry about upgrading that weapon. It should be right in here. There's a trapped chest. A trap chest, if you will. And it works just like the one I took earlier to the capital city. And this should take us to the cave where we get one bell bearing, and the bell bearing will give us infinite upgrade materials for up to a +6 weapon. And then in the next video we'll find the place where we can get upgrade materials up to a +12 weapon. And then pretty much all of the other sacred tiers that we need, at least on this part of the map, that we can actually get to. So ignore all these guys. Yeah, that one will probably kill you. The one that shoots out all those stringy things. Those white stringy things. But ignore him and go all the way here, and then you can get out of the cave. But we don't want to get out of the cave. Want to at least rest, so that you get the trapped status off of yourself. So we are no longer trapped. But we want to go through this cave so that we can get those precious upgrade materials. Look at that guy. He's thinking that wall's an illusion, but it's not an illusion. If you want to, you can grab these upgrade materials while you're at it. The souls that you have right now, don't worry about them. Because there's a grind spot where you can get infinite souls. And then once we beat the first big boss, then there's an even better grind spot where you can get even more infinite souls. Yeah, kill me. It doesn't matter. So we'll like get our weapon up to +12 and then kill the first major boss and then get to a place where we can grind infinite souls. And then with that place we can get to pretty much whatever level we want to get to. And with that infinite grind spot we can then get the weapon we actually want. Which is Radahn's weapon, the Star Scourge Greatsword. Which actually comes in two, you get 2 of them. If you want to, you can just knock that guy off and... because he's annoying you. He was annoying me, that's why I did it. That's why I killed him. You can get +5 smithing stones, so that might help you out. And the +5 smithing stone will get it up to +15. Up to +15. Ignore all these crazy kooky enemies. And knock this ladder down, because that's how we get up here again. And then get this somber smithing stone. That's what's really important. You want you want somber smithing stones from 1 to 9. Ignore that guy. Ignore all those guys. So this is the boss we really want to kill. I think we want to kill this guy. And then behind this guy there will be like one of the most important items. So summon your thing, let him wake up. Oh! These guys are like the most annoying bosses in the game. Look at how long that run cycle was. It was like a minute long almost. Ow. These guys are way too fast for how big they are. Come on. Very poorly timed attacks. A lot of the enemies in this game have just very poorly timed attacks. And then they just kill you like that. But anyway. Technically, we don't have to beat this guy to get that thing, but it's important that you do so. I might be remembering it wrong, and this might not be the place to go, but at some point I'm going to kill that guy. But until then, I'm going to go to other places and get other upgrades that are important in the meantime. But also, for now, I am going to leave you. Goodbye, sir. And next time we will go after more things, more big things. More big upgrades to ourselves as human people.